y'all with another episode of One About Motherhood. And I am super excited because we have Miss Soleil Lindsay here, who's going to give us a little insight into her world. Our topic today is motherhood and mental health. And this is such an exciting topic because it's trending, but it's also necessary. And so I guess for us first, we want to hear about you. Give us the tea,
Okay.
about like you, your journey into motherhood, a little bit about what you do and how mental health kind of blends the two for you.
Okay. Well, I want to say first, thank y'all for having me. My name is Soleil Lindsay, as you said, and I'm here based in Richmond, Virginia. I am a business owner. I am a mama. I am a speaker. And the name of my business is Soul Rise Essentials. And we are passionate about mental health. And mental health is part of my journey, not only as a mother, but as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I went through some experiences when I was 17. And at the time, I didn't realize it was mental health related. You 17, you just mindless going throughout life. But in my early 20s, I would say, just started doing some research and I realized, okay, it's some connections here that I need to make. And so I've just been really passionate about lifestyle, mental health, wellness in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm stepping into my purpose now as a speaker and just telling my story with
Right.
Soul Rise Essentials and also selling merch, mental health merchandise for children and for adults. So that's what I do. I have a 5-year-old son. He is amazing. I'm not just saying it because he's mine. He's really
Right.
a cool little dude. And it's been a journey, child. He's 5 and it's been a journey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5-year-olds are very interesting. And
Good
he's at
word.
school. So
Yeah.
like I'm sure that's like a whole new part of the motherhood journey for you. Kind of like learning what he's learning and learning it different because I don't know about y'all, but school nowadays
It
is
ain't
just not the same.
it's different.
So I can imagine, and especially like imagine it being like so young because my daughter's 12.
Yeah.
So middle school there's a whole lot of dynamics,
Yeah.
but middle school is different than elementary school, and then being in elementary school in 2024,
We
it's a whole ordeal.
It's a lot of newness for everybody
Yeah,
involved. We are pioneers and we figuring it out and we're being
absolutely.
brave and bold and having a focus on mental health not only for ourselves but for our children. Us choosing to do that is necessary, but it's important. So gotta give ourselves a little pat on the back for that
Yeah,
too.
that's good. So that kind of goes into one of our very first questions is how do you have that conversation about mental health with your son? Do you have that conversation and like what does that look like for you and him in talking about that?
My son is very inquisitive and he's one of those people he doesn't miss anything. I'm the same way. It's some stuff I wish I didn't know, didn't overhear, didn't
Right.
understand. I see those qualities in him. He's listening to me tell my story a lot
Hmm.
because not only am I doing public speaking, he's not with me in public a lot of the times, but he does do pop-up events with me and I'm sharing my story. And I also be doing something at home on video and he's listening to me. So one time I was telling my story about the school to prison pipeline. He's like, "Mama, you got locked up." I'm like, "Jesus, don't be going to
Right?
school."
No, please don't tell everybody
No, teacher, I went to jail.
that.
So he's 5. He's picking up on little things, and so we do have conversations as early as when he was 3. And I realized like he was able to comprehend what I was saying.
Mhm.
I've been talking to him about like his body, mental
Mhm.
health. So we have books. They have a lot of different books now that talk
Good.
about like mindful breathing and the brain. Like he has a body parts book. So bits and pieces
Right.
as it's appropriate for his
Right.
age. But we do breathing together. Sometimes we
Okay.
meditate together. He'll see me stretching. So I'm not having specific conversations with him just yet, but I think that seeds are definitely planted. He
Right.
knows that when he gets a little riled up, that he can go take a calm down,
Aw.
little chill in the calm down
Right.
corner in his room, or take some deep breaths. So
I
we
love
have started
that.
having those conversations.
Has there ever been, I guess, a specific moment where you were just like, all right, kid, I'm gonna take a calm down moment and I'm gonna need you to just, relax for a second while I go take a moment. Like
This
how
morning,
did
this morning, I'm just being honest. This morning
Yeah.
was rough. We've had a smooth sailing so far as it pertains to him starting kindergarten. It's
Yeah.
been really cool because he's so like responsible and he's getting
Mhm.
older, doing things on his
Yeah.
own. But this morning, for the first time, this has never happened. We got ready in 2 separate bathrooms. I was in my bathroom in my room, and he went to the other bathroom because I needed a moment. PMS,
Yeah.
stuff that mamas go through. I just won't
Right.
have. I needed my space. So,
Yeah.
I'll say, "Mommy just needs a moment right now," and I'm very verbal and
Right.
just upfront about it. So
Yeah.
hopefully he'll know how
Right.
to honor people's space and
Mhm.
honor his own
I like
as
that.
he gets older.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because especially as our kids are growing up, we think about the things that our parents really didn't say to us, and like us just really not understanding and knowing, and really having to take the time and like really say those things to our kids because that's how they learn, because
exactly.
my mom was a stay-at-home mom for a really long time, and like not once has she ever been like, okay, y'all, I just need a moment. Like
Yeah,
I just need y'all to get out my face for a few minutes.
that's
Like,
it.
she never really said that. And, as I look back, it was like, I'm pretty sure she probably could have or should have said that a whole lot more than she did. And maybe even for her, that would have helped her, at least know how to respond to us or been better prepared to respond to us,
Yeah,
when things were kind of
yeah.
out the way, and I've learned that, even for her, like my daughter, like sometimes like I'll be like, all right, so just take a I'm gonna go to my room and I'm gonna need you to just go to yours.
Yeah,
Cause I just need a little, just a little breather.
a mindful
Like,
moment.
yeah.
Okay,
And that sounds way better than what I be saying sometimes. And
I was saying like that all
I'm
the time.
I'm still
That's
learning.
what we gonna call it though.
A
I
mindful
need
moment. I
mommy.
like that. Mommy needs a mindful moment.
Yeah,
Put that on a shirt, girl.
yeah.
Like,
Okay,
cause
mindful moment.
like, sometimes
That's all you need.
y'all,
I told him this morning the words I
mhm,
use. I said, "Mommy just needs some space." Like
yeah,
I don't know what it is. Like, but my personal space, my bubble is like really big to me. And
yeah,
we have moments as moms when we feel touched out, right? And
yeah,
I'm not talking about those specific moments, but this
right,
morning I just needed space to get dressed.
yeah.
He was standing right beside me. I said, "Baby, mommy just need a little bit of space."
And it's funny because at that age they are very like on your hip and they just want to be next to you. And I don't know, for me, like I used to love those moments and I
Yeah,
cherish those moments because now they want to be away from you. And it's just like, well, come back.
yeah.
We have
Come
a good
back, come back.
time.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
just want to love on you,
yeah,
but I'm even learning now to still give her space because, when she don't want to be bothered, she be like, all right, mama, like, that's enough pictures, enough, like, in my face. I'm like, all right, cool, cool, cool. I'm
yeah,
going to chill. But
yeah.
it's different when they small because they be in your face
I think that's
all
the
of the
thing for me too. Like you said, cherishing those moments at this small
time.
age. It's a balance I
It
feel
is,
as a
yeah.
mom you have to stay tapped into because we can honor both. I do need a moment right now.
Mhm.
But then in my back of my mind, I literally had this thought, I think yesterday, I was like, time is going by so quick. And he is not this little thing anymore. So I told myself today, I said, continue to cherish those moments at this
Mhm.
little age because I
Yeah.
know it's gonna come a time
It
real quick
right. It
where he is
happens
not gonna want to
like
be.
like
So,
that.
but you can honor both,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and that's good. And that's good that you still, even when you kind of were thinking about that, like
Yeah.
still was like, you know what, I'm gonna still take this moment because at this point, if I don't, we might not have a smooth a smooth morning. But very good. I like
Mhm.
that. All right, so I'm gonna ask you this question. Why is mental health so important to pay attention to as a mother, a new mother, or a seasoned mother?
I always tell people if you have a brain, you have mental health to manage. I have
Mm-hmm.
had people in generations before mine tell me mental health is not real, and that saddens me
Yeah.
because we grew up so different. And I get it. Like the level of understanding I've reached, I'm kind of proud of myself because, like, 20-year-old me be like, "What are you talking about?"
Okay.
But it's important to pay attention to because you can't do anything well or at
Right.
your optimal level if you're not well. And that's
Right.
not to say that you got to be 100% all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but it's checking in as often as you can to say, where am I at?
Right.
What is my window of tolerance? How much
Mm-hmm.
more can I take?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're honest with yourself, like you said, it would have been great for our parents to be able to have language to be like, I need a moment
Mm-hmm.
because they did.
A
They needed a
whole
whole
lot of
bunch.
money.
And we can barely stand to think like what would life look like for us if we didn't say that to our kids.
Right.
So I think their capacity just was a little bit different than ours, but today I think it's so important because we have so many distractions and so many things tugging
Mm-hmm.
on us, so many
Yeah.
responsibilities.
Yeah.
And if you keep trying to wear a cape that don't belong to you, you
Mm-hmm.
gonna crash and burn. Because the world that we live in now is different than the world that our parents raised kids in. And
Absolutely.
they didn't have the same, I'm not gonna say as many, because I mean I could probably say that too, but I wasn't a parent back then, so I don't know. But I just know that it just seems like the demands are
Way
so
different.
heavy, and
Yeah.
it's so many of them
Yeah.
socially, at work, at home,
Financially.
financially. It's just a lot. So you
Absolutely.
gotta check in. You gotta be real
Yeah.
with yourself.
Yeah, and I think even like for me, like I have to have some of those check-in moments with my daughter because like I have to remind her like, hey, like, it's me here. Like I'm on your side. I need you to be on my side. Like I need you to say like, sometimes like I don't have it all together and like, they kind of look at you like you have it all together. You got this, you got this. She always be like, "Ooh, you got this business. You doing this podcast, like you doing all this stuff." And I'm like, "That's
Yeah,
great," but like, I'm still struggling sometimes. Like,
yeah,
like it's not, always perfect. And when even when we have those real conversations, like, I need you to talk about your feelings. I need like you have to do these things because if you don't, it will not end well. Like you have more moments where you're upset than you're not
yep,
because you're holding things in like and these are conversations like I wish my parents would have had with me but you know it's like now you see so much in the media with like kids harming themselves or like other kids harming other kids like and
yeah.
it's just so much to think about where it's like you want to like we're those parents that are like there's a video on on Instagram. There's his mom and she was in the store she was running after the toddler and she
Yeah.
was like, "Hi, honey, are you okay? I'm sorry that because we're just so like overly,
Yeah,
protective of
yeah,
them and their mental,
yeah,
like, their space, their bodies. Like we done seen everything. So
yeah.
we're just like, we are not gonna have our kids being screwed up. And so I think it's great that, we have those conversations because our poor kids got a lot going on. Like they have a lot that they're dealing with and it's a little
It
scary.
is.
What
It is.
signs would you say someone should look out for if for those check-in moments like
Mhm.
what is the thing like is it you feeling a little riled up like
Yeah,
what are those signs that you would suggest
yeah.
someone to like pay attention to say like hey I need one of those moments.
I think self-awareness is key and like us knowing our baseline. Like what are we like on a normal when it's no
Hmm.
external crazy factors going on in my life? Because then when you know you kind of reached over that point, like if I know I'm already like a little snippy and I'm even more snippy, I'm like, all right, what's going on?
Excuse me.
If I'm looking at like if you're a person that partakes in alcohol, you have a little wine. Are you drinking way more than you normally
Right,
drink? You know what I'm saying? Are you venting way more than you normally do? You know, just
yeah,
paying attention and checking in. What are my normal behaviors?
right.
And are they peaking a little bit more than normal? If you start to see some differences, like all right,
Hmm.
check in, go write in a journal
Hmm.
and just see how you feel. I
Yeah.
saw this tip the other day because I love to write, but my hands be hurt. I'm getting old.
Right.
But somebody said, so I don't do it as often as I want
Yeah.
to, but somebody said just start drawing, like just draw and then eventually, if you turn the page and you'll start to write. So I
That's
brought that up for
interesting.
people that have a hard time like me, like you
Yeah.
like to write, you should. So I just want to throw that
Yeah.
tip out there, but write down how you are feeling and like just kind of track it over time. Cause I look
Mhm.
back in my journal and I'm
Yeah.
realizing like some patterns here,
Right.
right? So I know what my baseline is. I know if I'm complaining about this person or this situation a little bit
Mhm.
more than normal,
Mhm.
what's going on? Are you
Yeah.
eating more?
Right.
Just paying attention to your habits and your patterns, I would
Yeah.
say.
And that's good too because I started journaling. It's been several years, but I never really go back and look at it. Like, and because like I just be wanting to get it out
Yes.
and like kind of like a brain dump.
Yeah.
But like I never thought to go back and actually look at it and read and like to figure out the pattern,
And also
which is
too,
kind
it's
of
powerful
interesting.
to see like
Yeah.
your growth. One
Hmm.
thing I noticed when I look back over my journal entries, I'm like, you still struggling with this same thing. You
Hmm.
need to figure
You need to get
this
this together.
out.
Yeah.
Like, so looking for those patterns
That's
and looking
good.
not just for the bad stuff, but like
Right.
the growth
The growth
as
in it.
well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm gonna need y'all to
Mhm.
go do that because I'm gonna go do it because I'm gonna go look and
Yeah.
read my journal I mean, might look at it and be like, girl, what you going through?
which is good.
But
If you
yeah,
do that, that's good. It's like I don't even know who that should
right,
was.
right,
I did not
right.
know who that Solièl was. I'm
And I'm
so glad.
glad that we not there no more, cause honey, we was going through it,
Right, yeah.
and we're in a better place now, and that's
Yeah.
great.
It could be a huge confidence booster to know, like, okay, I was struggling with that. That ain't even a thing no more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Okay, so changing gears a little bit, but you're a mom and you work, you have a business, you're doing all the things. How do you avoid burnout and also like while being a mom and all that stuff?
When I had my baby shower, my friend Jessica, who's married, she got multiple kids, and she stood up because I'm so big on community. I had all my community like write down these little notes in
Yeah,
this gold box so I can go back and look at
that's
it,
good.
and also had them stand up and say some things. So Jessica stood up and she was like, she said, "Don't forget, don't." I forgot how she worded, but essentially she was saying, "Ask for help."
Yeah.
And I have always been very independent, the strong one, just able, just get
Mhm.
it done. I'm
Yeah.
an Aries type A. If you can count on me to get things done. But being a single parent, I
Yeah.
need some help. And
Right.
so I took that advice and I held on to it.
Mhm.
Ain't no shame in my game. Like if I need something, I'm gonna ask. I
Yeah.
know what people to ask. And I pretty much I try to pay attention to people's capacity
Right.
because I was talking to you earlier about my twin sister. I know, even though she may say yes to something, I know when she feeling
Right.
stressed out and my
Yeah.
ask is too much for her.
Right.
So knowing who I can ask, for certain things, and sometimes it's just like one of my best friends, Nikira. I call when she knows my cue with like if I'm feeling too stressed out or feeling burnt out.
Right.
She lived like 5 minutes away. I'd be like, Kira, come cook for me. Because they be like, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And if I ain't got to cook
That's
tonight, that's
good.
one less thing I have
Yeah.
to do. So people always try to figure out, like, well, how? I don't know. It's simple stuff. Don't
Yeah.
overcomplicate it.
Sometimes it don't
You
have
know
to
what I'm
be that.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, you need some toilet tissue. If you ain't got no money, tell your friend to buy you some toilet tissue.
That's
Don't
good.
be afraid to ask for what you need because you put
Yeah.
you and your kids in a bind when you
Right.
know that there are people that are willing to help you, that have said and have shown you
Mhm.
that they're willing to help you. So don't be afraid. It's not a sign of weakness.
Yeah, and so that's a whole word
Yeah.
first and foremost because I suck at asking for help. I probably have just now started to be more comfortable with asking for help
Good.
because it's one like I feel like a lot of there's certain generations that have kind of like made it seem like you're supposed to do it all, and as a single parent, that's not how that was supposed to be set up. You know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to have two parents. So
That's right.
like when you are doing it by yourself, you shouldn't be expected to do it all. Be the working mom, be the cook, be the, chauffeur, like you're doing it all. So knowing when and how to ask for help and being okay with it is like that's a whole word.
Let me tell
Like
you,
for real.
I was thinking about this on the way here. Like, I'm at a point in my life where I do not care, right? And it took me so long to get here. I do not care what people think because my needs
Yeah.
are being met at
Right.
the end of the day. There's
Right.
never, ever been an ask that I've had professionally, personally, as a mom that went unmet.
Right.
And I think when we start to speak up for ourselves, and like you said, we know and feel like we don't have to do it all. I could if
Right.
I wanted to, but I'm gonna be
Right.
raggedy,
Right.
burning myself out. People
Absolutely.
admire that. People
Right.
admire when you learn to speak up,
Yeah.
because they're holding on to shame and pride and ooh, what people gonna think? They're gonna think I'm poor. They're gonna think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I do not care.
That is so, and that's so true. Like, because even like, we were talking about like getting government assistance and things like, and people they used to look down on. I mean, now it's just like, no, please help because I'm paying taxes. I'm going to work 40 plus hours a week and I still don't get no, like, it's like you have to kind of eliminate that little stigma of like, because all of us struggling. Like,
Yes,
it's not just you.
everybody's
All
struggling.
is struggling, and just asking for help, being able to like say like I'm gonna use my resources and then
That's
invest
the
it.
word right there.
Yeah,
Resources.
yeah,
People always complain about what's not out there, who's not helping
right,
them. But have you looked and have you asked?
absolutely. Because the thing that you said about even asking for like, oh, just give me some toilet paper, like who would have thought like how
A
sometimes
24
people
roll count,
right
not a four.
right
So you
get
ain't gotta buy it
right
for a while.
Just get the big pack. But that's good because, sometimes I think like, for me, I know personally, like when people are like, oh, well, what can I do? How can I help? Like my boyfriend will ask that. And I'm just like, I don't really know. And, just thinking like even the littlest things,
Yeah.
like, you can come take out the trash if you want to, like, just something that
Let
I
me give
don't
you a
have to
list.
do,
When that
right?
man asks you again, tell him y'all need toilet paper, paper towels,
Right.
toothpaste. Go to Costco so I
Mhm.
can stock this closet up over
That
here
part.
and make sure we good for
And
the
that's
next
good
6 months.
though. But
Yeah.
that's real good, especially for like I know we have like a lot of new moms that, are watching or, listening in because I think that was probably one of the hardest things for me to do, like as a very new parent, was like really ask for help. Like I
Hmm.
was just kind of like hoping that people would help, like, just
Yeah.
I'm struggling, y'all. Like, y'all can't see me struggling. Like,
Right.
and
Yeah.
most of the time, or sometimes, like, people wouldn't just come out and just do it, because me being a young single parent, they was just like, oh, well, this is what you signed up for. Like,
Mhm.
this is what you're supposed to be doing. But, I've since learned, and one, I've built my own community. So, like, outside of just like my family that I can count on, like, I have friends and, associates that I know, like, oh, okay, this is somebody that I know I can say, like, hey, do you mind doing this? Do you, can you do this?
Yeah.
And and it's a no, a no brainer.
Yep.
So I think, having that community is great
It is.
and being able to say, like, hey, I need some help, y'all. Like,
Yes,
I just
and it's
need,
it's cyclical. It's you're showing your child and the people you're asking in your community that it's okay to ask for help. And then when they
Mhm.
see your needs getting met, they're like, you know what? If I ever hit rock bottom, which you shouldn't even have to get to that point. You
Right,
ask before it gets to that
right.
point. But you're setting the example, like, hey, this is what community we say we believe in the Bible. I don't know what the Bible verse is, but I'm sure there's something there that talks about
Right.
a village. I know
Absolutely.
God said that we're not supposed to be
We're not
alone. That's
supposed to
not
be
just for
alone.
romantic relationships.
Right.
That's community.
That's crazy because we were just saying that like right before you got here. I said it says
Yeah.
two are better than one, and like
Yeah, so that's what it says.
you need to have your people and people that you can count on, and that's really
Yeah.
good. And I think bringing that back to just like the mental health aspect, like knowing that there are people that you can rely on, and knowing that there are people that you can say like, oh hey, can we just go get something to eat? Like when you need a moment to yourself or like away from your kids, or
Yep.
even saying like, hey, you want to come over here while they upstairs, the kids upstairs chilling, like
Yes.
let's just sit down, watch some Netflix, like,
Yes.
just being able to have that type of atmosphere is good for you and your mental health, but also like your kids to see that like she not just mommy all the time. Like she also has friends and she also has a life outside of me,
Mm.
which is honestly like one of our other topics that we plan to talk about, like having that identity outside of motherhood. But I think that's
Yes.
great. My
Yeah.
very last thing that I would ask is like what type of advice would you give a mom in like having those types of conversations with her kid, but also, just within herself and like
Mhm.
learning about her mental health.
I would say books. I would say cartoons. I would
Mm.
say podcasts.
Mhm.
Like you said earlier, resources. We don't have to do it all alone. It's
Mhm.
tough trying to come up with all of this stuff and figuring out. Learn about it. Put your own style on it. Put your own language in it. Make it fun.
Right.
My son and I love to listen to music. There are so many like positive, like there's so much positive music out
Right.
there. Christian based
Mhm.
music, stuff that teaches kids about manners and
Mhm.
mental health.
That's
There
good.
are so many resources out there that
Yeah.
our parents just did not have.
Yeah.
We got help.
We got a not a lot.
We got
Yeah.
a lot. So it's really no excuses.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I know we pioneers and we're figuring this thing out without the guidance of
Mhm.
most of our parents. Because I
Yeah.
actually follow Sanaa Lathan on Instagram, and her Instagram is so cute. She was fortunate to have a mom that actually did have these tools and resources. So I
Yeah.
love that. Um, Podcasts. I love listening to podcasts
Mhm.
about parenting, just about self development.
Mhm.
Like, be a
Mhm.
better person.
Yeah.
That's good for your mental
That's
health. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So just I love self development. The cartoons like Bluey, my son loves and is obsessed with Bluey. So just having positive
Right.
literature and
Mhm.
cartoons, things that they're consuming. So you're not having to do all the work.
Right.
I be watching Bluey.
Right.
Bluey good for the most part, right? I ain't
Yeah.
seen nothing too crazy
Right.
at all on there for real, for real. So If I'm having a day where I'm like, I just need to relax a little bit, I don't want to be on.
Mhm.
I don't let him watch a lot of TV, but
Yeah.
Bluey, I know Bluey putting some good stuff
Right,
in his
right,
head.
right.
You
Like it
know?
ain't too crazy. Like the
Yeah,
way he saw they talk about their little feelings. I've never watched Bluey, to be
yeah,
honest with you.
yeah.
This is a little after my my young parenting time, but
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, new
uh,
moms definitely check that
yeah,
out. Daniel Tiger is another good one for
we
like the
did
younger
watch
kiddos.
that.
That was a
We
good
did watch
one.
it.
So there are resources out there to help you single parent, partnered, married, whatever.
Mhm,
Everybody need tools and resources, but reading together, they're learning, the
mhm,
literature part is in there,
mhm.
phonics, all of that, but you're also having fun and learning at the same
Right,
time.
right.
There are a lot of books by Black authors,
Mhm,
children seeing themselves being
mhm.
represented in
It's good.
literature and in
Absolutely.
media is important. That's
Mhm.
good for their mental health as well.
Absolutely.
They matter. They see themselves in what
Mhm.
they're looking at, so they know their place in this world, which is good for
Right.
your mental health.
Absolutely.
So I would say those things. Not making a big to do about how to talk about mental health with your
Mhm.
kids. I always say just start with baby. You got a brain, and the same way that we go to the doctor for our physical body, for our eyes, for our teeth, there is a doctor for our head, our
Mhm.
mind, our brain, if needed.
Yeah.
So just exercising those muscles and doing puzzles. Me and my son
Mhm.
love to do puzzles together. That's good for your mental
Yeah.
health. It helps you kind of just chill out a little bit. It
Right.
don't have to
Right.
be nothing like
Right.
real big
Yeah.
and a big deal. It can be if you need it to be,
Right.
but like starting to have those conversations early
Mhm.
is key in like
Yeah.
laying that foundation. So
Absolutely. That's good. And what would you say about the mom? It's like
for the
what
mom,
kind of advice would you give the
girl, self
mom?
care, self care is way more than getting your nails and your feet done. Like
Absolutely.
self care is deep breathing. Like the moment that I had this morning, we were late. The daggone train came. I
Oh,
said, really? Then a bus came, and all these kids had to get on the bus.
it was just one thing after the other.
Baby, box breathing. Look it up. It's a very simple. It's
Mhm.
accessible. It don't cost no money.
Right.
I'm really big on mental health tools that are free,
Yeah.
free, free, free. But breathing is really big for me. I keep that in my back pocket.
Mhm.
If I'm having a tough conversation, I'm having a moment that ain't so mindful, like I just breathe. And I know that it sounds weird because we breathing right now, but
Yeah.
mindful breathing,
Yeah.
breathing in for 4, this is what works for me.
Right.
Holding for 4, breathing out for 4. I do
Yeah.
that 4 times, and when I tell you the relaxation that comes over my
Yeah.
body, it's been huge for me. I
Right.
used to be a firecracker. I still am a little bit, but
Yeah.
way different from
Yeah.
20-year-old Soleil. But
Right.
just being mindful of the things that we are watching.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell y'all these podcasts, these relationship podcasts. If you're a single mama, get off,
Right.
log off. Like just being
Yeah.
mindful about what you are letting people tell you
Right.
about yourself.
Right.
What do you think about yourself?
Absolutely.
What kind of men are you meeting in real life? Because
That's
I know some
that's a
kings.
word.
I'm dating one. I know a lot. You in the
Period.
community, in my community, I
Right.
know some kings. So log off
Yeah.
and get in the real
That's a
world.
word.
Get around some healthy people.
Mhm.
Read books. Listen to podcasts. Like develop yourself as a woman
Mhm.
outside of relationship.
Right.